Well, here we are at the Grand Highland Hotel, Whiskey Row, Prescott, Arizona. The facade says that it was built in 1903. This hotel advertises itself as a boutique hotel, and we never knew it existed until we ran a hotel space and I had to go through the phone book looking for a place to stay.
Yeah, getting the equipment up, that's going to be fun, huh? I have to bring it up this way.
As with all these smaller hotels, there is no elevator. During the background investigation for this hotel, I found 21 death certificates. They were all death from natural causes except for 5 of them. The first death in 1909 was from some alcoholic who busted his head open, maybe he fell down the stairs. And then there were 4 suicides, 3 from poison, 1 from firearm. The others were natural causes except for one which, well, I guess that's natural causes also, was a premature baby birth. But there was a little bit of a historical issue as to whether this hotel, the Grand Highland, was actually part of the original Highland Hotel or not. Today, the Grand Highland Hotel sits on this corner in Prescott, Arizona, which is on the corner of Goodwin and Montezuma Street. In this photograph, you can see that it sits right here, a ways back from the corner. The original Highland Hotel was a wooden structure that also sat on this corner. Originally, it was known as the Scopel Hotel, and in 1900 it is credited with starting the Great Fire of 1900, which destroyed all of Whiskey Row. Most historians believe that the fire started in 1900 when a miner came in and left a lit candle torch stuck in the wall while he went out and partied on Whiskey Row, ended up catching on fire and burning the whole place down. The historical marker on Montezuma Street states that these buildings were rebuilt between 1900 and 1905. Here is a 1905 picture from the front of that historical marker showing how the rebuild took place. The question is, did the rebuilt Scopel Hotel, whose name changed to the Highland Hotel in the 1930s with an ownership change, sit at the same place on that corner of Montezuma as the Grand Highland Hotel now sits? This is what the Scopel Highland Hotel looked like after that rebuild. This is sitting on that same corner of Goodwin and Montezuma. If what is now the Grand Highland Hotel occupied part of what the Highland Hotel was, it would be right here, right at the very back. The last death certificate on file for this hotel is from 1936, so I'm guessing that it was torn down right about that year or shortly thereafter. If the Grand Highland is what's left of the original Highland Hotel, somewhere along the way it lost its 3rd floor. But, in keeping with the original motif, they at least tried to make the top look at least somewhat like the old Highland used to look. If it is part of the original Highland Hotel being in the back as it was probably reserved for servants or managers' quarters.
So this is the hallway of the Highland, which is about 4 feet wide, with rooms on each side that are 10 feet wide apiece. This is one of the rooms. I think this is the Mount Vernon room, and it is a little bit bigger than the room that we have. All of the rooms have the theme name of the room and the transom above the door, leading down to the back steps. The back entrance, very steep stairway. Right here where our room is, room 209, is where the actual Highland Hotel ended, at least the annex part of it that we're staying in. They pointed this out to me because right next to our room is the chamber pot that they have in storage for display. There used to be a pipe here where they dumped the chamber pots in the morning. The old hotel went on down to the back.
This hotel describes itself as one of those boutique hotels because the rooms are very tastefully decorated and they're very, very nice inside. They're also quite quiet. We slept quite well. But as far as size, well, they'd be good for 1 person in a bag, maybe 2 people in 2 bags, but us with all of our equipment, yeah, so much for that. Small enough that it was easy to lose items simply by placing other items on top of them while you were trying to move stuff around. Such things like the TV remote became a search and destroy mission.
Turn the TV on, nothing came on. That's mine.
No. Where is the remote for the TV? Now it's gone for good.
What's that?
I said no, it's gone for good. The remote. Probably in there, that cupboard. Not in here.
We turned the TV off when we left, right?
Who did? Who turned the TV off?
You did, I thought.
I didn't. The other one is in a hurry to go.
And get your shirt off for clothes.
You put it somewhere else.
This treasure hunt is going on at the same time I'm setting the rest of the equipment up. EMF detectors, REM pod, things like that.
Hey, TV remote, TV remote, where are you? You did, darn it. Oh.
Where was it?
Right there.
In your stuff. Of course. Right in your stuff.
At just before 7 a.m. the following morning, we got our first hint of possible activity.
Hey there. Well, at least you got one light going. Can you get closer to it and set the rest of them off? Go ahead, set it off. Looks like it chased it out, huh? You goofy bastard, you. That's the first indication that we've had of anything here in the Highland Hotel. They said there was nothing in here at all. So, maybe to pick up from here on out, maybe we'll be able to capture something after all.
The equipment can take care of itself. The best part of Whiskey Row is Whiskey Row itself, day or night. 2 blocks of bars, eateries, historic structures, and the best part, this is where the movie Billy Jack with Tom Laughlin was filmed. All you got to do is step out the front door of the hotel and you're there.
Honey, it's snowing. What am I gonna do in a tight cuisine?
I don't know. So this is the part where Billy Jack was filmed at. It's the park where he came over here and he fought the guys in the park area near the fountain. Right across the street is the shops where they were messing with the kids there. I think that's now that burger shop over there. One of those is right next to it. That's what Prescott's about, what it's known for. There's a tree where one of the bad guys stepped out from behind, and then he walked down there to the fountain. He ended up fighting them, and then he ran and came back here and got a couple of them over here by where this signpost is at. Here's the other side of the plaza, Whiskey Row. Like 2 blocks of bars. Great place to party at night.
And as this pic from the 1940s shows, it's always been the place to party. Has a very rich history, and most of these buildings also have some kind of paranormal activity in them. And the most popular place to hang out is the Palace, with its high ceilings and Brunswick bar, dating back to the 1870s when Doc Holliday and the Earps used to run this town. Belly up to the bar and order a drink, and the employees and the manager will be glad to relate to you the ghost stories of the property. The most profound one being that of a full-bodied female apparition that walks down these stairs and sits at the table at the base of the stairs and appears so real that sometimes she's approached for drink orders. This is probably the only saloon where you will ever be able to order up a shot of Old Overholt. Old Overholt is what Doc Holliday used to drink and order for his friends. And if you're looking for a fine sipping whiskey, this ain't it. I'll tell you what, this is rye whiskey and it is pure rock gut. It's not expensive, so feel free to try it. Historians agree that this was the preferred drink of Doc Holliday, Johnny Ringo, President Abraham Lincoln, President Ulysses S. Grant, and President John F. Kennedy, who all share one thing in common. They're all dead. Drink this and you'll know why, as Jan found out when she tried to tiptoe through one of them. As one of my friends said, you can't tiptoe into battle. You gotta charge right in. When the July 1900 fire swept through town, destroying the palace, the patrons, seeing that the entire block was about to burn down, hand-carried this 24-foot-long oak bar out of the swinging doors onto the courthouse lawn across the street, where they sat and continued drinking while they watched the palace burn down. When the palace was rebuilt, it was carried back in, so this is the original bar that Doc Holliday sat at, and you can sit there and drink the original drink that Holliday used to drink while he stood at this bar and drank it. I had a few, set an EMF detector on the bar, and within a few minutes had half a dozen people around me asking me if I was a ghost investigator and what kind of activity I had uncovered. To me, that's a successful vacay. Getting back to the hotel proved a slight challenge.
We can't get in. The Grand Highland Hotel. Go ahead, punch it in. There, I didn't walk up those stairs.
You're drunk.
Nah, just a little.
Just a little.
Just a little. Just a little.
No.
He's gonna be here all night. He was on a 10.
Tomorrow's okay.
I had my hopes that a couple of drinks and hitting the bed like the old cowboys did might have some kind of trigger object effect. Anyway, that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
What's that about? See, you couldn't even take your shoes off.
That's the beauty of surveillance equipment. It just keeps right on running no matter what the situation is. That morning I had set my cell phone alarm to go off at 8 a.m. It went off at 8 a.m., but the other clocks in the room said it was 7 a.m.
It's only 7 o'clock.
How do that?
Here's another one of those oddities that is part of a normal investigation.
7:55.
Well, you know, how come mine says 8:50? This watch says 7:50 also. How come my watch suddenly skipped ahead an hour? If so, then we did get up too early.
Although Arizona has no daylight saving system, my phone had jumped ahead 1 hour.
We did.
Because this watch, my watch here says 7:50.
Yeah, I don't know what you...
That's picking up the signal. It can't be any different. I don't know if that was...
picked up a different satellite.
If that was a ghost trick, they did pretty good on that one.
Yeah.
Of course, we can't say that it was. Although both cell phones are set from a GPS satellite going around the Earth, it could be that mine just picked up a frequency from a different satellite and jumped my phone forward an hour. From a skeptic's point of view, I'd have to accept that. So we had a pretty quiet stay here at the Grand Highland. On that first morning, we did pick up that initial REM pod activity, but it was only one light, and that's not convincing. A fluorescent light within proximity of that REM pod can set it off, and there is a shop underneath. We're not about to go down into the shop and ask the guy, hey, did you turn on any lights that might have set my detection equipment off? That second morning, the alarm going off an hour earlier and robbing me of an hour of sleep was not appreciated, but we still can't prove that that's paranormal either. It's one of those oddities that occurs oftentimes on these sites. So for us, we had to give the Grand Highland Hotel an activity level of none encountered, and none recorded. Of course, we can't say that there's definitely no activity here. You can't prove a negative. All we can say is it was not there at the particular time and space that we were there.